You think you're just having a bad week with your partner, but what if that bad week has quietly become your normal? Here's the part nobody warns you about. Toxic relationships don't start toxic. They don't show up yelling red flags. They enter slowly, quietly, disguised as care, disguised as passion, disguised as love. And by the time you finally look up, you realize something terrifying. You've already changed, not because you wanted to, but because you had to, just to survive the relationship. Today, you're going to learn the 7 scientifically backed signs that a relationship has crossed from challenging into toxic. These aren't the cliché signs you see on social media lists. These are the subtle behavioral shifts and nervous system responses psychologists look for in therapy sessions. If you recognize 3 or more, it's time to stop blaming yourself and start paying attention. In 2019, UCLA researchers followed 184 couples for 2 years, not to track cheating, not to track violence, but to study something more invisible: the slow erosion of identity inside long-term relationships. What they discovered shocked them. The couples who described the relationship as fine were often the ones showing the highest markers of emotional damage. Not because of dramatic arguments, but because of the quiet daily patterns that break you down one compromise at a time. Let's break down exactly what they found. Sign number 1. You're constantly walking on eggshells. It starts small: a comment that upsets them, a tone they don't like, a look that triggers a cold silence. So you adjust. Then you adjust again. Soon, your entire personality revolves around not setting them off. You monitor everything: your words, your tone, even your face. Every conversation becomes a prediction game. Every text becomes a puzzle. This state is called hypervigilance. Neuroscientists have found that when you live in hypervigilance long enough, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, stays activated the same way soldiers' brains do in combat zones. You finish work and pause at the door, trying to sense their mood before entering. You reread their messages twice to interpret what they really meant. You rehearse normal conversations in your head because you're terrified of saying the wrong thing. Here's the danger: hypervigilance slowly convinces you that you're the problem, not the environment created around you. Sign number 2. Your opinions have started disappearing. Think about who you were before this relationship. You had preferences, opinions, boundaries, a voice. Now you default to whatever you want, it's fine, it doesn't matter. This behavior is called self-silencing, a pattern heavily linked to depression and anxiety. Your brain learns that expressing yourself leads to conflict, so it stops trying. You tell yourself you're being easygoing, but deep down you know the truth. You've stopped choosing because you've stopped feeling safe to choose. A friend asks, "Where should we go for your birthday?" You freeze, not because you don't care, but because you genuinely don't know who you are enough to answer anymore. And this loss of self leads directly to the next sign. Sign number 3. The good moments feel like relief, not joy. When things are good, you don't feel happiness, you feel relief. Not butterflies, but the temporary silence of anxiety, like putting down a weight you didn't realize you were carrying all day. Dr. Sue Johnson describes this as trauma bonding in reverse. Your body has learned to expect stress from the person you're with. So when they're suddenly kind, loving, or affectionate, your brain interprets it as a break from danger, not genuine connection. They compliment you, and instead of smiling, your body exhales. You think, okay, we're good right now. That right now is the problem. Love isn't supposed to feel temporary. Sign number 4. You're defending them to everyone who cares about you. Your best friend brings up their concern. Your sister notices you're quieter. Someone gently asks, "Are you okay?" And your instinctive response is defense, excuses, explanations, justifications. This is cognitive dissonance at work. Your mind trying to hold two truths at once. I love them, and I feel bad most of the time. But instead of facing the conflict, you protect them. You protect the relationship. You protect the story you wish was true. This is also the emotional version of the sunk cost fallacy. You've invested so much, your hopes, your time, your effort, that walking away feels like failure. But denial isn't love, it's survival. And survival mode creates the most confusing sign of all. Most people misunderstand toxic relationships. They think the whole relationship is toxic, but that's not how it works. If someone treated you terribly 100% of the time, you would leave instantly. Toxic relationships follow a predictable pattern: good, bad, good, bad. Small moments of connection followed by long stretches of stress. Apologies that feel real, promises that sound sincere, glimpses of the person you fell in love with. This cycle is the exact same psychological pattern behind gambling addiction: intermittent reinforcement. Your brain gets addicted to the moment of relief, not the relationship itself. And that's when the deepest damage begins. Sign number 5. You've started questioning your own reality. They say things like, "That never happened." You're remembering it wrong. You're overreacting. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. At first, you defend yourself. Then you start doubting yourself. Then you stop trusting yourself. This is gaslighting, and brain imaging shows that chronic gaslighting affects the hippocampus, the memory center. You begin to lose confidence in your ability to know what's real. You remember them promising to show up for something. They insist they never said it. Their certainty makes you question your sanity. You start screenshotting conversations just to have proof for yourself. Sign number 6. Your body is keeping score. Your body always knows before your mind does. You develop headaches, stomach issues, trouble sleeping, chest tightness, fatigue, jaw pain from clenching, random illnesses, unexplained tension. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk famously said, "The body keeps the score." Chronic emotional stress dumps cortisol into your bloodstream, weakens your immune system, and disrupts your gut microbiome. Your body is trying to tell you what your mind has been trained to ignore. You're not safe emotionally. Your doctor tells you your blood pressure is high. You're 28. You're not supposed to feel this drained, this tense, this fragile. But relationships like this age you from the inside out. Sign number 7. You can't remember who you used to be. This is the final sign, and the most heartbreaking. Your life has shrunk. Your world has gotten smaller. Your light has dimmed. Your confidence has eroded. You used to laugh loudly. Now you choose silence. You used to express yourself freely. Now you second-guess every word. You used to have hobbies, joy, a personality. Now you feel like a shadow, wearing your own clothes. And the scariest part is, it didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, quietly, while you were busy trying to love someone who didn't protect the parts of you that needed gentleness. Here's the truth no one talks about. Love and toxicity can coexist. You can love someone with your whole heart and still be deeply harmed by the relationship. You can care about someone and still need distance. You can want things to work and still be losing yourself piece by piece. These aren't contradictions. They're the complex, painful realities of being human. Recognizing these signs doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. If you recognized 3 or more of these signs, this is not your mind being dramatic. This is your nervous system whispering the truth your heart has been afraid to face. You deserve a relationship where you feel like yourself again, where love feels expansive, not suffocating, where you grow, not shrink, where peace isn't something you earn, it's something you naturally feel. You're not broken for staying. You're not foolish for hoping. You're human. And now you finally have the language for what you've been carrying alone. If understanding the psychology behind your emotions helps you feel seen, you're exactly where you need to be. This is Science Simplify, where we break down the science of being human. Stay curious and stay true to yourself.